Hello everyone, it's Amira. Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy you're here. If you're new here, my name is Amira. I am obsessed with all things Animal Crossing, and I love to make cozy gaming videos that kind of feel like you're hanging out with a friend. So if you're in the market for a new friend to hang out with while you play your cozy games, I would love to fill out an application to do that for you. So if that seems like anything you'd be interested in, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the like button and the notifications button and all those little buttons, and join our cozy community here on YouTube. We would absolutely love to have you. We are currently hanging out on my Gardencore Springcore Island, Basil. It has been a little bit since I've built on this island. I've been doing lots of island tours and Happy Home Paradise speed builds, and I feel like I've neglected this island a little bit, and I feel really bad, and I miss building on it. And so today I wanted to continue our work on this lovely, lovely island. I love her so much. I have a whole playlist of all of the different builds that we've done together, and I would love if you decided to go check that out. So before we get started, I thought it would be good to kind of reacquaint ourselves with this island, starting with this lovely entrance that we made together. I love how simple and open and like pastel it is. I love all the colors. I'm so happy with the way that this entrance turned out. And then we have a little bit of a crossroads. So if we go to the right here, right below resident services, we built this giant community garden here. This to this day is one of my favorite things I've ever built. I loved using all those tracks and everything. This feels like something that I would have pinned on Pinterest, so I'm really happy with that. And then if you go just below that, we have this lovely picnic thing, which, to be quite honest, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. I feel like maybe I'll like it more when we build out more stuff around it, but right now it just feels kind of empty, so still on the fence about that. We have some lovely little filler areas that are still a work in progress. I haven't customized everything the way that I want them, and there are still some missing items. Again, a few steps up there, more flowers. We have the beginnings of this little cafe right here, which I didn't do on camera, but I thought that was really sweet. We'll have lots of little fun snacky bread there, lots of treats. And then just over this bridge is the beginnings of a little mini neighborhood section that we built together. And I love this. I love the little well right in the middle there. Each friend has their own little yard. And then we started building this road that will eventually wind backwards and lead to a different section. But right now it just kind of stops. And then if we go back over this bridge, we continue down this pathway. And then to the left here, we have what I kind of consider to be like a little mini secret garden. My goal for this island is to be very sort of as simple as possible, and minimalism is not in my wheelhouse. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you will know that I am striving to be minimal, but it's not something that I am very good at. So I hope you can kind of see how simple I'm trying to be when we're looking through all these builds. We have this cutesy little museum. We have Blathers in his tent, and I love the way that turned out. In this universe, Blathers studies plants and like propagations and bugs and how they help the plants and all things like gardening, I guess. And then if we go just towards the right here, we decorated the campsite together. This was the last thing that we did on this island, and it's just the very beginnings of the campsite. We have a bridge leading right behind resident services, and we have a very simple, very minimally built out campsite. There will be more there, I'm sure. I have a habit of starting builds and then going somewhere else and kind of popping all over the place and adding things when I think of them. So I would like to say all of these things are a work in progress, just so that we're all on the same page. Anyway, today I would really like to build in this space below the museum. I want to do another sort of garden space and use lots of these like pebbly garden paths and the like garden plots, the little garden beds. I have this idea in my head that I hope I can kind of bring to life with different codes. I am truly so excited. I want it to be kind of filled out, not as minimal as I normally do. I think I'm kind of leaning towards the fuller, more cluttered vibe. I've been touring lots of cluttered islands recently, and I love those. And so I think the first thing that we need to do is sort of map out where we want these garden beds to go. And we are actually going to be doing this build speed build style. I have grown to really enjoy filming and making speed builds. I feel like I honestly do my best work when I do this, because when I'm filming, I don't have to focus on building and being entertaining and talking throughout the same time. I actually find it rather difficult to speak through my building process while it's happening, and it's much easier for me to kind of go back and watch the film and watch the footage and then comment on what I'm doing. I find that to be much more interesting and just easier for my brain to do. A lot of the times when I'm building, there will be like 30-minute stretches where I just completely forget to talk when I'm doing them in real time, and I'm like, oh shoot, I should probably say something now. So this will be a cozy little speed build. I'll probably pop in and out, but no promises there also, because I feel like we have a lot to talk about, because on the day that you're watching this, the Switch 2 will officially have been out for 1 day. And as I am speaking right now, the Switch 2 is waiting for me over on my coffee table. It is downloading Mario Kart World literally as we speak, but I told myself I needed to get this video done before I was allowed to play it. So it's downloading and I am doing the voiceover, and we're just gonna do it all together. And I hope that sounds good to you. Anyways, when we are starting this build, I originally thought it would be fun to have like different sort of sections of gardens mixed in with actual plants, like dug into the ground with the dirt path, and then have like the garden beds mixed in there with some vegetables just placed on there, and then have the pebbled paths kind of interspersed in there also. I don't know, you'll kind of see that the layout goes through a few different changes while I'm figuring it out. And I land on basically having 2 separate sections on either side and then a little walkway in the middle. And I don't even actually end up using the garden beds in this build, which kind of makes me sad because I think they're so cute. I just find them a little bit hard to use because they feel so two-dimensional to me, which makes sense because they are. But I find them hard to use because of that, because I don't want it to look too fake. You know what I mean? So what you're kind of seeing me figure out now is I can wind this pathway around a group of like 4 garden beds. And so I end up having 2 of those, one on either side. And instead of the garden beds being in the middle, I have like a little square of dirt path, and then I plant vegetables in the middle of them there. So this again goes through lots of different changes in the layout and the sizing and all of that. And this was getting really frustrating to build, just because in game laying down pathing takes so long and it's so tedious. And I was just wishing that I was doing this on Happy Home Paradise, because it's so much easier to mess around with pathing on Happy Home Paradise. I feel like I'm more likely to engage in like the trial and error process over on HHP, because it's really like it doesn't take that long to mess around with path work and, you know, different layouts and stuff like that. Whereas this, even towards the end, I was like, should I redo it? And then I was like, no, this took so long. I think I'm just going to leave it for now. And if I really don't like it later on, I can change it. So I do really like the way that this ended up. Now you'll kind of see me go in and try to recreate that same sort of square shape on the right here. Overall, I feel like this build, once I figured out the layout, it went really, really fast. This is a pretty quick little speed build we have going on today, which is, I think, good to jump back into building this island. It's just been hard with the end of the school year to kind of balance the island tours and the builds on Basil and the Happy Home Paradise speed builds. So I am so grateful for you all for being so patient and willing to wait and just being so kind. Because as a teacher, the end of the school year is like the busiest 2 weeks. And on this day that I am recording this, it was our last day with kids this year. I do have to go into work tomorrow just for like paperwork and other teacher things, but there will be no students. So I am so excited to get into summer and start streaming and go back to my usual schedule of 3 videos a week. And oh my gosh, I am just so excited. I have so many big plans for this summer. I'm so excited for you to come along for the ride and be there with me. Also, fun fact, today is when I'm recording this is June 5th. When you will see it, it will be June 6th. But June 5th is officially my 1 year anniversary, I guess, on YouTube, which I think is so fun. So thank you all for making this year so incredible. I am so appreciative of all of you. I cannot wait to see where this goes. I feel like we have cultivated such a wonderful, kind community, and I wake up every single day so grateful for each and every single one of you. So thank you for this year and this channel, and obviously this wouldn't really exist without you, so I will forever be grateful to all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, enough of me being sappy. We are still kind of figuring out layout here. I try a couple different fencing, and I end up going with the simple wooden fencing, but later on in this build, you'll see me kind of toy with this colorway or the plain like brown wood one. And I end up going with the brown wood because when I was walking around, I saw like in the actual entrance, I use more of the wood tone, like with the garden gate and the different fencing. And I really like the way the brown wood looks. I feel like it's really warm and it's kind of earthy, and that's what I want this island to feel like. So I'm really, really, really happy with using the wood fencing and the different colors that we use here. It just seems like it would smell so good. Sometimes when I'm driving or when I'm out and, about in the world, I'll smell like, this sounds so weird, but like I'll smell like, different like plants. Okay, Amira, yeah, that's what happens when you go out in nature. You smell the nature. So sorry for just saying the stupidest stuff. But like sometimes I'll smell like, oh, that smells like, there's like tomatoes nearby or something like that. And I feel like that's what this island would smell like. And that makes me really happy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm so sorry. I'm really big on smells. I really like when things smell good, and I just feel like this island would smell so, so nice. And I don't know. I say this every single time I do a video on this island, and it makes me so happy. I love this island so stinking much. It is so cute. Speaking of islands and going back to the Switch 2, I now have another Switch, which means we can start a new island together just in time for summer break. Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. So I have so many ideas. There are so many different islands that I would like to build, because BASIL will be number 3 for me. So I really haven't built that many. It took me like 5 years to finish one island. So we're working our way through my different sort of wish lists of islands. So far I have done like a very cluttered sort of forestcore, cottagecore island. That was my first one. My very first video on this channel is a tour of that island. So if you would like to go see that was Honeywood. I love her so much. Please go and check that out if you would like. Then my second island, which we built here together on YouTube, was Westport, which was a coastal fishing town inspired island. Now we have BASIL, which is like a simple Gardencore, Springcore island. Then we have options, okay? So this is what's kind of playing around in my head. I really want to do an English countryside island, but I feel like it's too similar to the natural thing that's happening on this island, so I might want to save that. On my more recent island tour, I saw some areas that just looked so like magical, mystical, foresty, and I think it would be really cute to do an island kind of inspired by like a magical forest, and not too on the nose. Like I don't want it to be like pink and sparkly fairy core. I want it to be more like cottagecore, but like lots of mushrooms, and you would think that maybe like a forest fairy lives there, but it's not like in your face fairies. Do you know what I'm talking about? With like the mossy different pathways we can use, and then I would name it Moss. I think that would be so fun. I feel like doing a really cluttered kidcore island would be super fun, especially just like being an early childhood teacher. I feel like I have a good sense of what that feels like, maybe. I don't know. And then I'm trying to think of what else. I love cottagecore, so I could do cottagecore. I wouldn't be mad about that. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Are there any specific types of islands that you would want to see me build? I cannot wait to get playing on this Switch. I am so excited. So let me know if you have one, or if you're waiting to get one, or what your plans are there. If you've played on it already, what games you've played on it. Have you played Animal Crossing on it already? Oh my gosh, this is such an exciting time for us Nintendo fans, isn't it? Ugh, I love it so much. Okay, anyway, back to the build again. You are still kind of seeing me try my hardest to figure out how to put these garden beds in here. And like I said before, they don't stay. I don't end up using them, but I do try my hardest. I hope you can see how hard I tried to fit them in there somewhere. This middle part here gave me the most grief. I figured out the little garden plots pretty quickly. It was that middle section. It just seemed just so big and empty, and I could have made those 2 garden beds closer together, but I didn't want to redo all of that. And really my main goal here was to make it so the museum was centered in between the 2 garden beds, because I'm a perfectionist that way, and I feel like if it wasn't centered, it probably would have drove me crazy. So I really needed the museum to be centered so that when we're like taking pictures and stuff, it's right in the middle. And I kind of wanted these garden plots to feel almost like an extension of the museum. Like it was all kind of one build. So that was my goal there. I end up putting some of those planks down and deleting a couple of them and putting some wheat field and some weeds and all of that. I go back in with some flowers later, and I put a tree down, and I just kind of clutter it up just a little bit more. I add another bunny rabbit eventually, and that honestly kind of brings us to the end of this build. I really like it. I think it is so cute. And then later when we do our sort of real-time tour together, we can kind of look at the different angles and perspectives. But I feel like looking at it from down here and seeing the tent in the background, oh my gosh, I just think it's so pretty. I'm really proud of it. Like I said before, it's not as like simple and minimal as I was kind of originally aiming for this island, but you know what, who cares? I think it's still cute. And honestly, for me, it is still kind of minimal and simple because I didn't cover absolutely every space with something. There's lots of places where you can see the in-game grass, which, as I've said many times before, 2025 is the year of in-game grass, and I feel like I left enough of it out that you can still see it. Like I said before, I will go in later and change all that fencing to be the plain wooden fencing with just the brown sort of colorway. And that's kind of the end there. So I will let you finish watching out this speed build, and I will see you again for our real-time sort of look around. And here we are at the end of this speed build. We have reached the final product. I think this turned out so sweet. I love that you could see the museum in the background. I love the different garden beds. I do think that I kept it relatively simple, so I am pretty proud of myself in that aspect. I just think it is the sweetest thing. I decided to film myself doing some little watering of my little garden. I think it is just so cute with my different colored pumpkins. I loved doing the little alternating pumpkins, and then, you know, my little potatoes. And Teddy made an appearance. We love Teddy. I think he is just so freaking sweet. So the whole thing, I think, just came together so easily, so nicely. It was a great way to ease back into building on this island. I don't know, I just think that this turned out to be a really sweet little garden build, and I love the way I use the pebble sort of path to kind of go around the different plots. Overall, I am pretty happy with it. So just, let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you liked it. I love to hear your feedback, and I am just so freaking excited for the Switch 2, so please let me know what types of islands you would be interested in seeing me build, because I now have another Switch that I am able to do that on for you. Oh my gosh, so exciting. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It really would mean the world to me. I post new videos every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, or at least I normally do, and it's not like the last 2 weeks of school, but now that it's summer, I should be able to do that again. To all of my members, thank you so much for your continued support of me and this channel. I love you all so much. You have no idea how much your support means to me. I am seriously so appreciative. Thank you. Endless amount of gratitude for you. Other than that, you guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope you are having the most wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Goodbye.